Ladies with gentle hands, welcome to episode 14 of the video game PlayStation Book Club, whatever we're calling it. I don't know, VGBC, I know it's called PlayStation
A
Book
new name
Club. We're
each
playing,
episode.
we change it every episode. Sometimes we introduce ourselves, sometimes we don't, sometimes we forget the episode. But this week we played Forbidden Siren, I believe it's called. Is that the
Yeah,
correct title?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
in the UK, in Europe, it's Forbidden Siren. It might just be Siren in America and Japan. I'm not sure.
You did have some previous experience with this game when I selected it on the podcast, but I thought being a PS5 list, I thought you didn't play it, but we agreed, or you kindly agreed to play
What
it
was the
again,
other option?
technically. Oh
There was
goodness,
another
what
game
was
you were
the
going to pick, and I was like, oh
what?
no, it's fine. We'll do Forbidden Siren, so we do another shit game in a row.
Yeah, what was the other game actually?
Oh,
Oh my
Bug
word, did we say
Snacks.
it on the pod? Bug Snacks, was it Bug
I
Snacks?
think it was Bug Snacks because it was leaving PS Plus.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, as bad games go, I don't think Siren was the worst bad game I've played. Like, I don't actually think it's that bad. It's just a PS2 game.
How
You know
far
what I
in
mean?
did you get though?
So I'm just gonna go off the missions. I got up to mission 4, bearing in mind they're kind of short missions, but
Mm.
also kind of difficult. So I got up to where you switch over to a priest, and I believe he's trying to get back to the church. And there's like a ton of enemies in the area, and I just kept getting stuck. And I was like, I think this is time for me to check out here. I need to do some other things. So that's where I just kind of left it. But saying that, I'm quite intrigued about the game. I feel like I'm going to watch a YouTube video on it just to see what happens and maybe what the lore is, because I do think it's piqued my interest, but it's not something I'd necessarily want to play, if that makes
I
sense.
think it's probably one of the ones where it's best experienced as like a video essay or a lore video instead of
Yeah,
actually playing it, because playing it's quite janky. It does have like a cool mechanic in the, is it the sight jack? I think it was called, or the mind
yeah,
jack, where it's like you can,
yeah, Sight Jack.
which I think's like a cool mechanic, especially for like a stealth kind of aspect to the game. I think it's kind of cool.
Very, very fitting off the back of our podcast talking about gooning. We've just got some jacking going
Jack and
on.
sights, Jack and minds, whatever it is.
But yeah, I mean, the Sight Jack thing was an interesting mechanic, but I feel like it could have been explained a bit more on how to use it, because I didn't like. It gives you the vision of the enemies. That's kind of what I sussed out
Mm-hmm.
from learning. And then I was like, right, so you basically see where they're looking and then hope that when they've changed their vision, you run. Is that kind of
Yeah.
the vibe of it? Yeah,
So as
okay,
soon
so I
as
got
like
it right.
it would be their line of sight is when you're meant to go. But I never used stealth a whole lot, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
that priest mission, I just, because you'd already played through that section, is the boy with the girl. I knew like
yeah,
the exit was climbing up on top, but I think it's like a bus shelter. Climb on the bus
something
shelter,
like that.
and then it's like a wee path. So I just ran right past them.
Mate, even trying to when I was with the boy and the girl, the what do you call it, a nun or priest lady, whatever she was. Do you know when you have to pull her up
Yeah.
on that thing? Like the mechanics of it, even like the instructions on screen to like be careful because if you press too hard, you'll go
Oh,
back
you walk
down, sort of
over.
with the analog. And it's like, yeah, I just kept going up, down, up, down, up, down. I was like, just give me the prompts, let me
Help a
pull her
brother
up.
out. Mate,
Yeah,
she gets so fucking annoying later on. So I played it
really.
for, I think it was like an hour 20 I'd played it for, and I got to, there's like a hunter character. So he plays like a bunch of different characters. You get the kid, you get the professor who's got the gun, the wee pew pew pistol handgun. You get the priest, and then the hunter is as far as I got. So I get 4 characters. And mate, I just kept getting shot right off the bat with him. And not mate, they inverted the controls. I had to go in and change it, seeing the settings.
Oh, you could change it.
Oh
I
mate,
always get confused with premium titles and how to access game settings because it obviously pulls up the rewinds. And I did try it, but I just firmed it. I was playing with inverted controls. I was like, this is why.
so
Why?
the hunters get like a sniper rifle, and it's like, first off, the sensitivity is fucking mad, and then also left and right is fine, but up and down is inverted.
Yeah, yeah, just up and
Oh, for
down. I don't
fuck.
know
So
why
mate,
it's.
I'm trying to snipe this guy, and he just keeps going bang, bang, 2-shotting me and killing me instantly. And I was like, fuck this, man. But sorry, that lassie gets fucking annoying because she's blind. So then
Oh, I never knew that.
she has to like sight jack you to see where she's going. So you need to take her to the very end of the level, right? So mate, the amount of times where it's like I got to the end of the level and I'm like, fuck, now I need to backtrack all the way back and get her. And it's mate, literally like 5 steps. And then she's like, turn round, I can't see. So mate, you just need to 5 steps, turn round, look at her, and then she'll like walk up to you and then run away, turn round. And that's mate, it's fucking I was like, I don't know if I want to play any more of this. And then the
Yeah, I
next
think
section
there's a
was me getting
trophy.
sniped, so I was like, fuck this.
I think there's a trophy for that actually, like without using prompts to make your companion come near you, because you can press triangle and like call them out, can't you?
Mm.
Or I did that for the professor and the little girl, because I was like, I've made it to the end of the mission, or what I think was the end point. And I was like, where's the girl?
Aye.
So then I
It's
had
like,
to
are you sure you
backtrack.
want to leave without her? Like,
Yeah,
yes, let me go.
yeah. And I was like, okay, right, so I'm gonna have to go back, and ended up dying a ton. And then I did the sight jacking thing. But I quite enjoyed the. It didn't make sense at the start, but obviously you play as multiple characters. I kind of like how it's a timeline of like the different times because it's happening
Mm.
like what from like 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So I like how it's staggered in a way, like jumping between characters. And I usually don't like that. I normally critique games that do silly things like that, but with this, I feel like it worked decently.
Yeah, no, I always think it's like a cool thing jumping between characters, but it's weird. Like, there was one point where it's, I think you play as the professor, then it cuts to a cutscene of the boy and the girl, and then it cuts to playing as the priest. And I'm like, why did we go to the cutscene of the boy and the girl if we're now jumping to a different character? Like, we're not taking over them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But I've done my notes in chronologically, should we say? So I'm going to take us back to the start of the game. Um, what did you think of like not the intro of the game, but you know when you boot up the game and you get like the ads, like the intro, that kind of stuff, like the
Skip
development
them.
thing. Ah, what, mate? I thought it was like kind of cool. It was like creepy and like I don't know, it just felt very like classic. I was like, yeah, I like this boot up menu. It's pretty cool.
And I skipped straight to it. I was like, let's get this over
Get,
with, get it
get it
done.
over with. Fair enough. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And do you know what? I kind of love the cheesy voice acting in it. Firstly, I was
Mm.
surprised to see a game this old have voice acting. But like right at the start when the boy falls down the hill where he's getting chased by like the zombie police
The
officer or whatever it
police.
is, and he's like, ah, like it was just the funniest thing. And then they've obviously just kept that voiceover line because he said it like multiple times in my playthrough after that as well. He just falls all over the gaff. I'm like, what on
Mate, I like because it's one of the things you forget about with like, the PS2 games, but see, like the face scan, where it's like
Yeah,
you get the basic player face and it's just like a wee photo's just been slapped on.
yeah. I don't think it obviously didn't look great, but I don't think it looked that bad. I was
It's
looking
not
at it,
that bad.
I was like, they've actually. I mean, it's obviously enhanced for PS5 and like premium, but I was like, you know what? They've done a good job. Like they've tried their best. Like I'm not mad at it. But I did a bit of researching because I thought right or listen to that boy for instance that I was speaking about, and just close your eyes, imagine his voice. Yeah, just imagine him in Harry Potter. He's got like the most Harry Potter voice. I don't know what character, maybe a Ron Weasley or something, but like, ah, Harry, like if
Aye,
that's what he
I know what you
sounds
mean.
like. So I googled. I was like, it's not Ron Weasley that's done this. Like, give me the voice acting cast, and there's nothing online. So I've gone to a Reddit post, and because it's obviously a Japanese like made game, I'm assuming a Japanese studio. So all of the voice acting in the original print of it, let's just say, was in Japanese. So the localization team I believe, done the voice acting as well, kind of in-house developers, which
Mm.
I think is a very I don't I'm assuming it might be a quite a common thing because obviously back in the day when they're obviously localizing games from Japan to the Western audiences, it's quite a long process. They don't know if the game's going to take off in the West, so it's just pretty cool. But unfortunately, I don't know who done the voice acting 'cause it's all allegedly in-house, but there's not much information. I just thought it was a pretty cool.
You'd imagine it would
I
still
love
be in the
that.
credits, though, wouldn't you?
Maybe yeah, but I don't think either of us are going to
Yeah,
roll
nobody's
credits on
gonna
that.
get fucking close to rolling credits. Mate, I think
Yeah.
I seen something about I don't know if it was so one of the developers anyway. He was what worked on Silent Hill,
Oh, okay,
like
right,
the
yeah,
OG
that's,
Silent Hill, and I was like, mate, see the amount of fog? I believe it. Fucking believe
yeah,
it's the same
yeah.
guy.
Very reminiscent. It's yeah. I mean as well in the voice acting, I kind of wish they just left it as Japanese because it is a little bit cringy just listening to an American screaming when it's quite clearly set in a Japanese village or something. I'm
Mm.
like, ah,
I mean, I wonder if the like voice is out of sync on the Japanese version.
probably not. I think it's just when obviously transcribe things to a different language, it kind of puts things out of sync, doesn't it? Because I think that when you think of a film, for instance, other parts of the world, like you watch a Brad Pitt film in Germany, there's a German voice actor dubbing
Mm-hmm.
it, if that makes sense. And obviously Brad Pitt is not gonna do an
He's not
entire
gonna do it
2 hour
in
movie
German.
changing the way that his voice moves, like or his mouth moves. So I think it's set. So I think probably the Japanese, like the original port of it, maybe a little bit better, but I mean who knows, it's a PS2 game.
Cause mate, I wonder how difficult that would be. See when they're like porting the game for the like the West, how easy it is to just make the voices and say, mate, it's kind of like cool though watching like an old, no, like old Japanese movies with like fucking Jet Li, whatever it is, Bruce Lee, whatever. Hello, it's nice to meet you. And then Biff's
I
just
can't
going
say
mental.
what are they that out of sync? I'm not
It's
surprised.
quite out of sync.
But
Mate, her mouth moves like twice and she like monologues. It's noticeable.
damn.
But
Yeah.
what
Um,
else?
for a PS2 game, I thought it was good to mid. Um, and yeah, I thought we've spoken about the control scheme. I thought the start of the game was pretty brutal, and the rest of the game continues to be quite difficult. Just like that start of the police officer as well. I was quite happy I didn't have to Google a solution. I was like, right, where do I go? Small
Mm.
area. I was like, oh, car, cool, locked. Into this office thing that I magically discovered while I'm fighting with the controls to look up and down and stuff. And then it I also quite love, not love, almost like sarcastic love, but when you're trying to get into that car, it's like press triangle to insert key,
Oh
press
yeah.
triangle to open door, press triangle to get into car, press triangle to put key in ignition,
Mm-hmm.
press triangle to start engine, press triangle to drive. And I'm just like, how many prompts do you want me to press?
Mate, I had the same thing where I was like, what the fuck? Because I said on the last episode where I was like, I think I'd seen a TikTok or something, but a guy was saying about how great Forbidden Siren is, but he's like, you need to play it with a guide. And I
Mm,
was like, I remember saying to you, we should probably play it with a guide. But I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just going to play it blind, see how far I can get, as like an experiment kind of thing. And I'm guessing you never used a guide then?
No, I didn't use a guide, and I had that in mind, and I was pretty happy with how far I got because it does continue to get harder, I would say. With a guide, I guess you probably just know when to run and things like that. Obviously, it'd make it a lot easier, but yeah, I didn't use a guide. I mean, I can't say the missions are extremely short when you do manage to run through the same section. What was it, 3 or 4 times in a
Mm-hmm.
row, so you know what you're doing. But yeah, like I feel like I want to say it's a decent horror game. Like for that period of time, I feel like there's quite a lot of interesting things going on that I didn't get to explore even more. Like they've got like a little world map. There's obviously this whole multiple character switching. I've not used any weapons, but you said you was shooting guns and shit. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, the
It sounds like
combat's
there's a
super
lot.
easy.
Mm, yeah, so I didn't even really scratch the surface with how far I got. About I think it's probably about an hour, maybe just under
Yeah,
for me.
the professor who you would have played as, he's got a gun, but you need to go into
Yeah.
your inventory and let's select it's like the wee gun, and I think you only get like 6 shots
Okay.
or something with it. But it's like 2 shots to kill, but you can miss as well, and it's like a fucking stormtrooper miss. It's like the guy's right in
Oh,
front of you and
really?
he's ting, he just pings off the rock away over there. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then as the little kid, he finds like a metal rod, like a poking thing, like a fire for a
Okay.
fireplace kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's like 4 hits to kill an enemy, but it's very awkward because like an enemy can just grab you, and as soon as they grab you, I don't know if you can
Yeah.
break out of it. I never found it how to, but they just grab you, and then like 5 seconds of struggling, instantly dead.
Yeah, you're done.
So the rewind function came in super handy.
Yeah, mate, I was using that quite a lot. I forgot about it and like reset the checkpoint, and it put me back to like the beginning. I was like, oh fuck, rewind.
Yeah, I
I
forgot
was like, I
about it
just remembered.
until on that level I'd got to the very end, and then I had to backtrack, get the lassie, and she died instantly, and I was like,
Yeah.
fuck. And then just rewound it. I was like, oh, what a fucking saviour. Mate, the enemies come back as well. They don't like die.
Oh, okay.
See, when you beat them, they just like curl up into a wee ball. And then I think two of the enemies came back to life when I was like, escorting her to the end of the level.
Do you have to like double tap them, like kick them while they're down, maybe to finish them off? Like,
Nah, because it wouldn't let me interact with them when they were down.
yeah, interesting. But yeah, it. As I said, I think I'm gonna watch a lore video because it just I'm captivated by it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very Silent Hill, Resident Evil, just interesting. Seems like there's a lot of stuff going on in this world. And like, my question is, what was that kid doing out at midnight? To eat like, was he just chilling in the woods? Or what? He seems like he's a pretty like he's not a rebellious rapscallion child. Do you know what I mean? Like he seems well put together, sort of organized, a good boy. Like he should be at home in bed ready for
Aye.
school tomorrow. I'm like, what are you doing out at midnight, buddy? Like, come on now, like fucking go to bed. We could have avoided this entire game. Like,
So
but
did you find the game look scary then? Because for me, I felt like see like the jankiness of the controls and stuff like that. I feel like that took away from the horror almost. You know?
yeah, do you know what? I've not actually deeped it like that, but I'm inclined to agree there. I wasn't scared. The only thing that I was, as I said, the intro to the game was pretty creepy. I was like, oh, this is like, my volume was up loud. It was like very early when I started playing this. I was like, this is one way to wake up with these horror noises. Hearing that siren as well was creepy as shit. Um, the only thing I was expecting to be scared by was that sight jacking thing because it was so weird to use and it was like the fuzzy TV screen. And what is it like? Is it like The Ring or something? Obviously, a Japanese horror film that uses the TV
Yeah,
static
she
and
comes through the
it jumps
TV.
out of it. Like I was half expecting when you're in that kind of static sight jacking view, because obviously it's very bitty, isn't it? Until you get to the right vision point.
Were you
Let's call it
using the
like that.
face buttons as well?
What do you mean the face
So
button?
it's like
Like the
so
X circle?
yeah. So you press L2 to go into like sight jacking mode, then you use the left
Yeah,
stick to like find like the signal almost, and then see when you
yeah.
found the signal, if you press triangle, it like saves that guy's vision. So then next time you just push L2 and hit triangle straight away, and it like locks into his vision for you.
Yeah, so I did use that, but I didn't know what it was doing, if that makes sense. Like I
Mm.
was, because I saw the tutorial said, oh, you can press the buttons, but I didn't know what they did, and it did start switching between a couple of them, but I still ended up manually finding them because I didn't know it remembered it. But yeah, I did kind of partially use that functionality. It's a pretty cool bit of functionality, but I didn't realize it was being used almost like a stealth assist mechanic. I thought
Mm.
it was just like a jump scare mechanic. So when it first happened with all of that fuzzy static and it was like you could kind of see like somebody's point of view, I was like, oh, there's gonna be a jump scare because
Mhm.
like somebody was just looking at nothing. I was like, oh, come on, come on, come on, jump scare, and nothing happened. I'm hoping at some point in the game you do get a jump scare from that though, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably, mate. Because one of the things, the atmosphere for it is pretty cool, but I think it's just see, as like Westerners, like we don't really know jack shit about like Japan and all that kind of shit. So seeing those environments and stuff and like horror settings
Yeah.
always kind of extra spooky to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it I think as well potentially like the I don't know what it is, but like you think of maybe like Resident Evil 1, 2, or 3, I would argue they're quite scary, to an extent. But then you play Resident Evil 4 and 5, and do you know how it's like more of a mutation sort of thing? It
Mm-hmm.
kind of I know obviously they've got scary moments, but I think it takes away from that initial scare level because like when you start Resident Evil 4, it's almost like the normal villagers that switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got the same vibe here from this game. Like they're obviously doing some kind of sacrifice summoning, and I don't know, are they zombies? Are they like possessed? Like I couldn't really gauge what the horror was meant to be. It's like the set piece and environment is there, but the enemy types almost made it less scary. Plus the control jank.
See, I would say the difference between like old Resident Evils and new Resident Evils is like how much more competently you can fight. Let's see, like OG Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, like the controls and like the tank controls and stuff. See, try to like, oh my god, I'm trying to aim, get the
Yeah,
headshot. And he's like coming towards you, you're like shitting yourself. Whereas like the
yeah,
newer ones, it's third person. We all know how to just bang, headshot instant.
yeah. True, true. So yeah, mechanics seem to be quite a big factor then in whether a game's scary or not. It basically take away all of your control as a player, and that's what makes things scary.
And it's like bad mechanics can either make a horror game even more scarier, or it can
Mm,
just take away and kill the experience. But
yeah.
what you rating it then out of 5?
Yeah, uh, I obviously we don't do half scores. I think this would be the perfect 2.5. Like, I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a mid to okay. Like, I know you're squirming at that. Like, but I didn't have a bad time with it, if that makes sense. It was obviously a bit difficult, and I was a bit pressed for time, but I can't really say that I've ever really been interested to follow up on a game from doing this series. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna watch a lore video just because I want to know what happened. So it's like, while the game itself probably wasn't the best, and obviously the jank is a big thing, and I know I'm very critical of jank in games. I'm giving it like the benefit of the doubt, and I'm intrigued to see what happens. Like, I thought it was okay, sort of on that lower scale of the
Mm-hmm.
okay meter. But what about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure there's a PS3 game as well, Siren Blood Curse, because I've got it on. We would have got it on like PS Plus monthly
Right,
years and years ago,
there you
because I know I've
go.
got it, and you need to download it as like episodes. But I mean, I'm getting it a 2. It wasn't, so I'm getting it a bad. It wasn't a good game,
Yeah,
but it wasn't awful either. I just think it's, mate, see the companion thing, constantly having to like hold their hand, and like I just hate that shit, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not. I do agree with you. The companion thing, if I played it more, probably would have been annoying. But I only had like one encounter with it really, and it wasn't the worst in the world. It wasn't the best, but it was just. I was like, ah, okay. Hopefully, there's not too much of this, but
Aye.
I think there is.
When she's like blind and you're constantly turning
Mm.
around, I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I want to stop. I'm so fucking done with this. But
Yeah, I mean, it it was good though because when I in that first mission, because she does say wait, and she's like follow me, and she's like listen, and that's like one of the few times I've actually listened to a game and not tried to like rush through. I was like, oh, like I can. A lot of the times I play games with no sound for context. Like, I actually plugged the speaker in, and was listening because I wanted the atmosphere here. And by the way, when I say that, I mean FIFA or COD. Sometimes, if I'm just dropping into a multiplayer game, I don't care about the audio if it's for 5-10 minutes. Normally, with a story game, I do
yeah,
listen
you're
to
not
sound.
playing
But
God of War when they sound.
yeah, but like, what was it? Sackboy? I didn't play that with any sound. I was like, I think I didn't either. I can't remember what I said. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I was like, I
No,
don't
you
care.
did because I'm
Like,
sure you liked the music. Did you know?
oh,
Oh
was
no, it
it?
was boring. The music was boring. And then I
Oh
was
yeah, the
talking
music
about
was
the Bruno
boring.
Mars level.
Yeah, that okay. There's some games on this that I would on this series that I definitely wouldn't have listened to sound with, but this was one of them. There we go. Let's clear that up before I get cooked. But yeah, it's like I actually listened to what she was saying. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of easy because she's saying run here now, sort of thing, and
Mm,
helped me. I was like dying beforehand before I listened. So yeah,
yeah. So you ready for your next game, mate?
next game. Dun dun
Dun
dun.
dun dun dun. So I don't think we've done a PS Plus monthly game. One of the games we get each month.
Don't think so.
I think it's always been the PS Plus Extra game catalogue that we kind of worked off of. But I kind of want to play DayZ,
Okay.
and I think it's one of the ones. I think it'll be shit. But I've
Okay.
always
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play DayZ. See when it was popular like 10, 15 years ago, and it was like only
Yeah.
on PC. I was always like, man, that looks so fun. See, like watching, what was his name? Like Frankie on PC and 1080p. Frankie, and whatever it is. There was like a guy that used to make like DayZ videos back in the day, and he made it look fun. So I've
Yeah.
always wanted to try it, and I feel this is the point in it, mate. Gives an excuse to play games that we've always wanted to try.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the point of it. I will say though, I saw a very similar thing, however many years ago when Daisy was relevant, and when I had a laptop, I brought Daisy. I think I played it for about 30 minutes, not even that, and just quit. It was the most difficult thing. Maybe it was because I was a kid, but like it was just awful.
I'm hoping
So,
on console as well, though, it's like dumbed down. Like controls will be super easy.
maybe, unless, do you know if it has crossplay? Like, do you think it's
Mm,
just
I
consoles
don't
or
think
like
it's got
if it's linked?
crossplay.
Yeah, I guess if it's just a PlayStation, like its own supported version, then maybe it is dumbed down. But
Mm.
it's I feel like it's a good shout. I feel like it's a nice co-op shout for us to play together as
Aye, we
well.
can play it together. I think you need to try and find each other though. I'm pretty sure you like
Yeah, I was
spawn at
about to say
separate,
we have to.
walk
Yeah,
for like
you're
30
at the
minutes to
top, I'm at the
find each other
bottom.
and just die
Yeah,
instantly. But mate,
yeah.
I think,
Maybe it'd be a good stream, a little
aye,
stream session
mate, I'd
for
be down
the
to stream it.
Hoarders channel.
Just need
Yeah,
to get
all
our
right.
calendars synced up when we're both
Yeah,
available.
I do have a feeling that you may have selected another doozy for a game where we continue the bad streak of playing shit games. But
Mate, I
yeah,
was surprised at Siren though. I thought I'd get a 1 because I remembered it being a lot worse than what it was.
yeah. Like my expectations were like on the ground when you obviously spoke about what you said, but I'm happy that with it, if that makes sense, it's exceeded
Right, it
said
wasn't an
expectations.
amazing game, but it was a pleasant surprise.
Serviceable, serviceable.
Hey,
If,
and
I guess if you're really into like horrors and like classic games, you'd probably enjoy it more so than us and have time to pick up a new game. But I don't. So
also it had like a like retro kind of vibe, like retro film vibe almost to it as well.
yeah, yeah, that was quite cool. Yeah, I think that's what I liked about it. Like it done a lot of cool things, like horror things that were interesting, and I think that's why I'm interested in it more. It's
Mm-hmm.
obviously just as a game functionality, it's not the best. Like it'd probably be a really cool movie or TV
Aye.
series, something like that. But yeah. Anywho,
So don't play the game, go watch a lore video. And we will end it there. We'll see you motherfuckers in the next one. Much love.
bye
Peace.
bye.